guys, welcome back to We Watch a Movie. I am Mike, and I have a pretty sucky update for the Saw franchise. Saw 11, we all saw it got postponed. It was supposed to come out this past year after the super success of Saw 10, which was both critically and financially super successful for the 10th movie in a franchise. Naturally, you're assuming it's Saw, so we should have another one in about 20 minutes as long as it's making money, but no. It was supposed to come out this past year, then it got pushed back out of nowhere for an entire year to 2025. It was just on our 10 franchises coming in 2025 video that we just did. And of course, as fate would have it, right after that crap, get this news story that's coming out. Not necessarily a news story, but just a lot of confusion that's going on. And I didn't know anything about this. And then you see that Kevin Gruder, who's scheduled to be the director of Saw 11, he directed Saw 3D and had some issues with the production in Lionsgate while making that film. Slated to direct this movie, and he just tweets this, "Oh man, there's nothing worse than vague booking or vague tweets." Kevin Gruder tweeted this picture, which is the last frame of Saw 10. And no words, no nothing, no explanation. And, you know, the internet, obviously, were very, very bored. And we're going to be like, hey, explain yourself, bitch. And he did not. He just posted this up there, and it's this happy ending shot of them walking off into the sunset. And the internet obviously took that and is saying, and but by the way, there's more to this. There is more to this than this picture. But this was December the 6th. This was at the time of this video 3 days ago. And obviously vague tweeting. And all the comments underneath are like, "Oh my God, is Saw canceled? What's going on? Are you gone? What's it? Please tell us something." And he's not saying anything. So to me, this means one of three things. Either A, he just never, ever, ever checks his social stuff after posting, checks his Twitter, which, good God, that's something I need to learn how to do, is to not check responses on Twitter. It's a cesspool of darkness, like Courtney Love's Vagina. Or Maureen Prescott, if you want to go the Scream route. Anyway, either he never checks his Twitter to see that he has just set the world on fire, which is almost completely unbelievable, and I'm sure it's not the case. Or B, there is absolutely something to this, and he posted this for good reason, which is what it sounds like. Or C, he's just a huge asshole who likes to toy with people's emotions and slowly tickle their butts with a feather. Or just toy with their emotions, which makes him, going back a little bit, a huge asshole. Either he's just not involved with it anymore because of whatever turmoil's going on behind the scenes, and this is him walking off into the sunset with this great Saw movie that he made, one of the better ones in the franchise, and he's leaving the project. Or B, the project is, in worst case scenario, being canceled altogether. There's more smoke to this fire, or backwards, forwards. It's Monday. Fuck you. So if you scoop back in the timeline a little bit and figure out what's going on here, Scooper, viewer non, who's right a lot, not all the time, but right quite a bit, worth paying attention to for sure, said that "I'm told the current holdup was not because of script, creative, or director issues, and the delay is likely due to disagreements between Mark Berg and Oren Coles. They own the rights, and nothing goes forward without both of these human beings agreeing." We're going to come back to that. We're going to go further into the past, when viewer non posted that this is a bummer, but they've heard from multiple sources that unless there's a big change, Saw 11 probably isn't coming in 2025 either. So when you put that tweet right there, right next to Kevin Gruder's tweet over here, then you've got a handful of shitty titty. And it's not just that. I noticed when I was making that video the other day that Marcus Dunstan was, as far as I can remember, listed as the official writer for Saw 11. You go to IMDb today and you look and there's no writer listed. Like under writer, it's just blank right there, which is very strange to me. It does still say Kevin Gruder as the director, so I don't know what's going on there. The best case scenario is obviously, no offense to Kevin Gruder, that he's just leaving the project and they're going to continue on another way. Or is the best scenario here that they just walk away and go, "Hey, the 10th one was pretty good, let's not push it"? YouTuber 3C, who you guys all most likely know, had a really, really smart theory and idea, and I think he could really be onto something here. He brought up this past story from Deadline back in April, where Blumhouse and Lionsgate were coming together to reimagine a bunch of horror classics, starting with Blair Witch. Now, that caused a bunch of shit with the Blair Witch guys, because they were like, "Are you serious? How much are you going to milk our tits, Greg, before we get anything out of this, for fuck's sake?" And I agree with those guys as well. But Blumhouse is just, you know the story of John Henry? Well, Blumhouse is like the robot, but with nipples. They're the machine, and they're milking. They're the machine that's milking the cow. Anyway, Blumhouse and Lionsgate got together, and they're going to do this deal, going through the Lionsgate library and reimagining some of their horror classics. Because Blumhouse, like, we make shit cheap. We make it PG-13 so the kids can watch, and we're going to make a buttload of cash and spend about $8 in a pickle on it. So Lionsgate's like, yes, sign us up. We are Lionsgate. We love that shit. And also, we just produced Borderlands. Anyways, 3C smartly put together the fact that these two guys run this franchise and nothing happens without the other one say so, which sounds horribly close to another awful situation with what happened with Friday the 13th and what's going on there, by the way. He surmises that one of them wanted to take the franchise in the direction of going with Blumhouse and reimagining it and starting from square one and basically rebooting the entire franchise because of Tobin Bell's age, because of where they are in the franchise, and everything is so convoluted and muddled. And while 99% of Saw fans, I believe, would go, fuck you, no, that sounds like a terrible. Anytime you hear reboot anything, it's awful, especially when the franchise just had one of its best sequels. But from a business aspect, it makes sense. I mean, if you can start, the biggest mistake that Saw ever did was killing off John Kramer. Because then they had to bend over backwards and try all sorts of new positions to try to bring him back into the fold some way into the sequels, and it was really kind of a mess. You could go back and start that all over again and never really do that and start with a younger John Kramer and have the whole thing be linear and just really clean up a lot of stuff and do a new actor and all this stuff. And I hate it. I hate it coming off of my mouth. I hate it coming out of my lips. I do. But I understand what they're thinking when they're thinking that. But he theorizes that one of the guys wants to go with Blumhouse and do the reimagining thing. Let's try some Strange in the bedroom at night. Turn off the lights and feel around. And the other one is steadfast behind, no, let's make Saw 11 and keep what we've got going. So it just makes sense in so many levels because you have this story, you have what's going on here, and you have viewer non saying that this movie might not happen in 2025 at all. And it's just, that seems like the kind of creative divide that would cause people to dig their feet in the ground and actually cancel a project altogether rather than not getting their way. It just makes sense, Greg. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. So who knows? Obviously, that's theory. But what we do know right now is that Kevin Gruder is a vague booking motherfucker. So hopefully, and probably the second I click publish on this video, we will have an answer about what's going on. But I think it's more than likely we're going to get a news story at some point very soon that's like, Saw 11's been canceled and here's what we're doing with it. Or at least indefinitely delayed. So let's hope not. Let's hope we're all just a bunch of ninny pushers freaking out like a bunch of Betty Cockers. I don't know. I'm trying to find the words. But we still have a shit ton fuck of fun stuff coming for you guys this week. The live stream this week will be Friday night on Friday the 13th. We're going to do something Friday the 13th specific. We're talking to the Patreons right now about how we want to do that and what if we want to watch a Friday the 13th movie or what we want to do. We're gonna have a good time though, so see you guys Friday night at 8. And also lots of videos coming up soon, including a tier list of all the horror movies I saw this year, some really fun stuff. There's gonna be a Santa Jaws, a Christmas Story horror movie, and all your Saw updates and everything else going on. So make sure you're subscribed, got the bell clicked, all that stuff. Love your all's fucking faces. Hope you have an amazing day, and let us just hope that much like the ending of Saw, Tobin Bell in the franchise, who we think is dead in the middle of the floor, stands up while that badass fucking music plays. Dun dun dun! Dun dun dun! Dun dun dun! What are you gonna do on October 31st?
What are you gonna do on October 31st?
Here comes that white-faced fucker, an asshole like no other. He's a big old piece of shit. Wants to stab your sister's tits cause he's a white-faced fucker. Loomis can't recover. Dr. Challenge drunk again, sleeping with your sister's friends.
Do you want to know about the darkness?
I said, goddamn.
Goddamn you, faggot!
I said, goddamn.
A lot of people don't know the darkness that goes inside their hearts.
I said, goddamn.